When you first log on to Khan Academy, you'll see something like this. This is my personal Khan Academy account, and we call this the Learning Home. You can always access the Learning Home by just clicking right here on this Khan Academy at the top of the page. I want to point out a couple of things about our work on Khan Academy in this video. First of all, when you go to the missions menu option over here, you'll see all the missions that you have been working on. And if I go to this mission, the pre-algebra mission, um, I'll see a few things. First of all, here's my progress overall on the mission. So I've mastered, according to Khan Academy, 80% of the skills in this mission. And the way that you get this number to go up is by doing these mastery challenges. So whenever you have a mastery challenge at the top of your feed, you should do it. And just keep doing it until Khan Academy doesn't show you this anymore. And that might happen when Khan Academy determines that you should do some practicing before you have the opportunity to demonstrate mastery. And so if you don't see this, you can just begin working on the other things that are in this feed. But if there's something that is you'd like to work on that's not here, there's something else you can do. You can scroll down and look at all these little squares, each of which represents a skill that you've either mastered or you've practiced or you haven't even started yet and you need practice. So you could, if you click on one of these, like this one here, it says identify points on a line. If I just click on that, it will add that skill to the top of my feed. And you can note it, you can see that Khan Academy is telling me that I added this. And so if there's something on the list that you want to practice, for example, if there's a skill showing up in red that you've been struggling with, then you should maybe select that and then practice that skill. And just know that if it's something you've been struggling with, you have access to videos, you have access to hints. So to show you, if I click on this, um, I could use a hint in order to solve this problem. And it doesn't look like there are any video options, but a lot of times it'll also say watch a video down here. So you could use those two tools in order to help learn one of these skills that you might be struggling with. Anyway, remember one of the goals here is to increase this uh, by anywhere from 2 to 5% or more each week. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that now. So again, when you're here at your learning home and you click on this progress tab, you can look at all the stuff you've done over any period of time. So right now it defaults to the last 7 days right here, but I could choose any range. And here, instead of, it always defaults to early math, but you might select the mission that you're working on. And this is the same information that Khan Academy gave me on the mission page. It also shows me a list of all the skills that I worked on during this time and whether they went up, whether they're showing up as having been practiced or mastered, or if you see any red here, it's a skill that you've been struggling with. And so this is a summary of all the things that you've worked on in this time period. And one thing that's kind of challenging here about Khan Academy is that this information will always be current. It doesn't depend on a time frame, and there's no way to go back in time to see like what percentage you had last week or last month. And so if you want to know what percent gain you've made over the course of a week, then you need to write this number down at the beginning of the week. And I recommend that you do that in your problem journal. In fact, every time you work on Khan Academy, you should start a new entry in your problem journal. You should title it Khan Academy and put the date, and then begin by just writing down whatever progress you have at that time, whatever percent mastery you have. And then you could even finish your session by writing what this number is at the end of the session. So, um, And that's really the only way to know if you've mastered, if you've gained any mastery over the course of any period of time. The other thing that we look at, though, when I consider the weekly assignments, is is this activity tab, and you can see that I have just one bar, and if I scroll over it, you see that I worked for 26 minutes on these skills, and that was today, September 3rd, the day I made this video. And I didn't work on Khan Academy at all in the last 7 days except for today. So uh, if if I want to know how I'm doing, how I did last week, I would have to change this custom range. And the assignments for the week, they begin on a Monday, like the 26th, a week ago Monday, and it goes until Sunday the 1st. That was our week 3 assignment, covered those 7 days. So if I set that range, you see that I don't have any activity in this range. So I would not score very high on with a week 3 assignment. What I'd like to see is at least 3 columns, each of which is 10 minutes or more, and a grand total of 60 minutes. Those are two of the targets that we're trying to achieve with our work on Khan Academy. The engagement point comes from working for 60 minutes, and the consistency point comes from working at least 10 minutes a day for at least 3 days. And so you can check those things, and if you write down in your journal the percent mastery that you've achieved at the beginning of each session, then you'll be able to figure out over the course of your work in a given week whether you've gained uh, what percent mastery you've gained. Hope that answers some questions about how we're grading these assignments. And of course, you can ask me in person if you have any additional questions.